All right, now number 7, we're getting into transformations. So I've written down a list of these transformations and just to kind of put it all together. So this is the general form. A is multiplied out front, and then you have your function, and then you have maybe a grouping symbol. B is always going to be next to the x, so whatever number is next to x represents B. Then we have minus h, so this is the original formula. If we plugged in a negative, you would see a plus. That's why when we see plus, it moves left, because we actually plugged in a negative. And if we see a negative here, that means we plugged in a positive value. That's why it shifts right. And then our plus k is out by itself. So this goes over k. K is a vertical shift, positive up, negative down. H, what we see in the formula after it's been plugged in, is going to be a horizontal shift. If we see a positive, that means the graph got shifted to the left. If I see a negative, that means the graphic is going to get shifted to the right. Then we talk about the B and the A, okay? And all this is in the textbook as well. B is going to be a horizontal stretch or compression, okay, in the horizontal direction. Focus on the magnitude of the number, not the sign at first. So I'm putting absolute value bars here. If B is greater than 1, so more than 1 away from 0. So it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, not 1, but greater than 1. So 2, 3, 4, 1.5, anything like that, even if it was negative 2. So that would become greater than 1 as we make the absolute value. It is going to compress it. It's going to divide the x by that value. If the B value is between 0 and 1, so it could be 0.5, 0.75, some kind of fraction less than 1 but greater than 0. Again, we're not focusing on the negative, just the magnitude. Then it's going to stretch it out, so going to multiply the B factor by that. If B is negative, there will be a y-axis reflection. So this, imagine taking x from the negative side and then putting it on the positive side of the axis. It's going to go across the y-axis. So when you change the sign on the x value, it flips it across the y-axis. Then, similar to that, we have the A. A deals with the y. It's out front. A is going to stretch or compress the graph in the vertical direction. Again, focusing on the magnitude only, not the sign. If it is more than 1 unit away from 0, it's going to stretch it out, exactly what you see. If it is between 0 and 1, again, focusing on the magnitude positive of it, it's going to compress it in the vertical direction, so squeeze it down. And then if A is negative, it's going to flip across the x-axis. So that's going to be on the y value. If you flip it or make it from positive to negative, it goes across the x-axis. So this is the spelling out of the transformations and what each variable does. I usually tell my students whatever is with the x. So when I say with x in the grouping symbol, the B and the H, they're going to do opposite of what you see. So if you see a fraction, that means it's going to stretch it out. If you see a whole number, it's going to compress it. Here, if you see a positive, it's going to go left, and the negative is going to go right. And then the A and the K do exactly what you see. Whole number is going to stretch, fraction is going to compress, positive goes up, negative goes down. All right. You want to be able to identify. So with this function, you see x inside of a grouping symbol, the square root, but then you have a minus k. Minus 4. That 4, I'm telling you, is identified as the k value. That's going to be a vertical shift. It's going to go down 4 units. And so what we want to do is use translations to graph the function. So I'm going to click translation, and I'm going to drag this down 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to save that, and then we're going to check it. Okay, and it gives me green check is good. Continuing, it says use translations to graph the function. So we are going to start with the absolute value of x. So I'm going to plot a point here. And absolute value goes up 1, right 1, okay? And then same thing, up 1, left 1. So I'll make 2 rays. Start here and go go here. Doesn't matter. And then I'll go here and go here. So that's the absolute value. Now, unlike the previous problem, it doesn't give me the transformation, so maybe I should have just transformed it. But what's going to happen is that this graph is going to get shifted 3 units to the left. So if I was to take this and move it 3 units to the left, I would get the same V shape, but it would start here. So if I plot a point at -3 and go up 1, right 1, and then go up 1 and left 1, I will get that value. So you're going to use an array, not a whole line, and then do another array. Okay. So this second one is the one that we're going to get. It got shifted 3 units to the left. Now, I don't think they're going to want this graph, so I'm going to erase the original one and those points that I originally made, but this would be the transformation of x plus 3 absolute value.